Fina Loves, it's Miss Fina D coming to you all from Fina Entertainment News. So the Real Housewives of Atlanta new episode aired tonight. You might get this video, well not might, you will get this video the next day, Monday morning, afternoon or evening, whenever, but it's going to come on Monday, okay? Let's go ahead and start with, Eva mom is replacing Mama Joyce. That's basically it. The storylines are always recircled. Eva and her mom, her mom being dramatic and wanting to control everything. And according to Nene in one of her interviews when she was doing press, she said it's going to get worse and that Eva mom is like going to take it to another level and that she's actually more dramatic than Mama Joyce. So we shall see. I mean, if those little things that she was doing had Eva crying, then you know what? Let me set it up because a lot of you don't watch the show anymore. So basically, Eva is getting married. Okay, her mother and her dad been married for 35 years, and her mom and her dad eloped. So her mother never really had, the gown and the church and the real type of wedding. But as you can see, sometimes it's not about the elaborate wedding. It's about making it work because they eloped and 35 years later, they are still married. Now, Eva only have brothers. She's the only girl. So this is almost like her mom's dream. And so her mom is not coming in as, I'm the mom, my daughter is getting married. Instead, she's coming in as, this is my wedding. And she even said it out of her own mouth that is her wedding. And so she's just basically taking control and doing too much. And it's just very critical of what Eva is trying to do, making comments on her dress. And it's just a lot of drama. And you know what? This actually works for Eva because people were saying, her storyline was boring. She's dull. She's changed. She's not the same girl from American Next Top Model that was feisty. So her mother coming in and bringing in the drama is actually going to make her storyline interesting. That depending on what family you're a part of, the parents take care of the wedding. But this one, Eva is paying for her own wedding. Now it's going to be on the show, so I don't know how much the show is contributing to. It's not a wedding special though. I think it's going to be an episode of the show. Now if it was a wedding special, then maybe Bravo would have chipped in more because they're basically selling the wedding to Bravo. But the fact that Daily Mail TV and other people were there covering Eva's wedding, maybe Daily Mail TV having full access because before the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Daily Mail had all of the videos, Eva walking, in the hall, in the ceremony, all of that was on their website. So maybe since the show was like, we've already paid your salary, that's it, we're not trying to buy a wedding special, they sold it to Daily Mail TV because Daily Mail TV had everything. So maybe that also contributed to the wedding expenses. So Eva is taking care of it and letting her mom know that no, head counts, which is true, per plate. It's a lot of money. And her mom is trying to invite people that Eva is not even close to, don't even know like that, and all of that. So that was the Eva situation. The scene with Eva's mother, and she's crying because her mother is basically not trying to hear her out and talk about, the financial burden that she's attempting to place on her daughter by inviting people that Eva does not really have a close relationship with. And Eva is crying, and I don't know if it was editing or whatever, but her mother is eating the whole time. Don't care about her tears. She excused herself from the table. Her mom is still eating. Did not pause for a moment to say, baby, stop crying, or show any form of emotions. Eva goes to the bathroom, talk to the producer and whatever, comes back, and of course her mother then tried to have a conversation with her and they're laughing in the end. But that wasn't funny in as much as people were saying, I want to be on this level of unbothered. I didn't find that funny because someone described it perfectly on another blog page that I want to highlight. The person wrote, an accurate depiction of the way the Black community handles depression. Exactly, this is toxic Period. Right. Shush. The accuracy. Yep. Very true. Absolutely. They rather sweep it under the rug. Yep. My mom once mocked me for having depression. That is so sad. You get it, sister. I hope our generation continue to break this toxic circle. So when your child is going through that, the whole you're too grown or old to be crying, stop being so emotional, do this, that, and the third, that's not cool, because that's how kids grow up, suppressing all of that anger and emotions and all of that. And once they grow up and now they have to live and deal with society, that's why some of them don't go in a positive direction. Because here's your grown daughter crying and trying to talk to you, and I understand it's a reality show, I get it, and there was a scene, but you can still take a scene and compare it to actual real life situation that is going on and talk about it. So I really do feel like that moment between Eva and her mom was very real. But yeah, that wasn't cool at all. The fact that her mother did not even pause for a moment to speak to her daughter and see she's emotional and be there for her in that moment and kept eating, that was bad. So I would love to hear what Eva had to say about that. She might say, oh, it was editing. My mom did stop for a second and we talked and they didn't put that in there. But if not, yeah, that wasn't a good look at all. So since we're talking about Eva, let's continue, and because she's a part of this mess as well. Shamari and her husband Ron and Devore, they have twins. After being together for 17 years, that's a long time. Okay, they're married, of course, to now finally have children. So that's a long time to be together, to be in a marriage and everything, and be like, we're just gonna be living, no kids and all of that. So that's amazing. Now they have twin boys. They're celebrating their birthday, at their home, and Mila showed up with her nephew. Kandi showed up with her son Ace and her husband. Todd is hilarious. When they were at the car, heading into Shamari's house for the birthday party for her twin boys, Kandi was like, "You have cash on you? Let's put, money in the envelope." And Todd said, "How much?" And Kandi is like, 100 a piece, because they're twin. And Todd was like, 100 a piece? I barely talked to them on the phone. I love him. He said about his money. I thought that was so hilarious when he said that. Like, girl, would I know these people like that to be spending $200, like, and for some of you, like, that's nothing for you and Kandi. But listen, that's how you save your money. But he was just joking. He was joking. He was like, I'm just kidding. So they went in the house. The house was very hot. Everyone fanning themselves and all of that. But they were in the house, too many people, camera, lighting, all of those things is a lot. But, they were all at the table and they were talking about, fashion and the shade that Eva threw to Shamari and all of that. And then, anyways, as they're all at the table, Shamari brought up the shade that Eva threw, towards her fashion. Porsha, Milo, everyone been coming for the way how she dressed. But at the table, Eva was like, basically, girl, dress how you want to dress. As long as you're happy, your man is happy. That's all that matters. And Kandi was like, okay, why are you backpedaling? And now you're being a DJ. When Kandi said that, the editing room is hilarious. They start playing like a DJ music, like scratch music. It was whatever. But that was that, Eva basically was like, listen, I didn't mean it that way, and she shut it down. So it was just like, what I'm saying, I'm gonna say stuff, but when confronted, I'm gonna backpedal. So that's, they've been trying to paint Eva as this liar this season, and so far it's working. I guess that's her rep. That's not a good rep at all, but that's what's going on, because even at the table they brought it up again that she was being a liar. So that was that. Of Shamari, she and her husband had a discussion, and he basically told her the same thing everybody was saying. We get it, you're trying to make your mark on the show and all of that, but there's just certain things you want to keep private, and so he was just saying, did you really have to talk about the fact that we had an open relationship? But to be honest with you, sometimes, you got to do what you got to do for that check, because Shamari did not only end up on all of the blog pages, she made a lot of the blog pages on Instagram, but she made a lot of blog pages outside of, the app. So when you type in her name online for that episode, she had all of these different articles written about her. So she did her job. She did her job as far as come in, be feisty, do what you gotta do to bring attention to the show, to get people talking, whether it's good or bad. We just want you to get people talking. So she did her job, but he was he was upset about it, but they talked about it and moved on. So that was quick. We're going to move on from that and move on to Kandi, having lunch with the ladies. And it was Cynthia, Milo, Kandi, Nene. They're all talking, and she brought up Porsha, basically in a nutshell saying, I know things about Porsha, man, but Porsha and I, we're not in a good space right now, so I do not think I should be the one to tell her, because that's just going to send her overboard. She's going to go straight into being defensive and then say I'm jealous of her, and it's going to ruin the relationship we're trying to build. All right, so Nene, everyone advised Kandi to not say anything to Porsha about it. Girl, let it go, don't say nothing. But it was a good, gossiping moment. They all talked about it. Basically, Kandi told them everything that she told them in the last scene, that, he got other girls, and, he had other girls, and he literally dates of how long Porsha been with him and all of that just wasn't adding up. And then how he have other women names tattooed all over him and all of these different things. She's basically went ahead and spilled the tea. And so Nene advised her, don't say nothing. And the other girls advised her. But according to Nene, in one of her interviews, she said that Milo replaced Sheree. Milo was upset that Sheree was a bone carrier, but now that Sheree is no longer there, Milo have turned into the bone carrier. I meant bone collector. Bone collector. I meant bone collector. So as the season progressed, I guess we're going to see that Milo was the one who went back and told Porsha what Kandi said. I mean, because Milo is not BFFs with Kandi. Milo is not BFF with Porsha. So to her, I have nothing to lose, but this is going to add to my check. So whatever. So that was that. They talked about it. They left. The other thing that was interesting to me is you can clearly see that it was all editing. You can clearly see that it was all editing, because Kandi walked in the room. She walked in the room, gave her husband a hug, and her manager, the one there, basically talking to her about their schedule. And out of nowhere, Porsha came in. So I really do believe they were in our room for a while, and to do the whole continuation, they just cut all of their conversation out of there and went straight to the point when Kandi brought up Portia's name, because there's no way a manager is telling you, listen, you have to do this and do that. Like, he's talking business talk, and then out of nowhere response is, well, Porsha, the editing was just off. And the smart people knows that. The people who are so far up Porsha, you know what? Oh, they jumped all over Kandi. But I stand exactly where I stood last week and forever. I don't see any problem with what Kandi is doing. It's not so much of an eye for an eye, or you did me wrong, I'm going to do you wrong. It's the show. I'm going to sound repetitive. I'm going to say it again. Porsha did the same thing to everybody relationship, and basically her same fans said, oh my God, it's the show. It's about drama. Why are you guys being so, mean to Porsha and coming for her? She's just repeating what she heard. Isn't that what the show is about? Well, then let's say the same thing. Isn't that what the show is about? Kandi is repeating what she heard. Porsha did the same thing. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. There's no hate yet for Porsha. I just keep it real. She's doing exactly what Porsha did. And Porsha actually went deeper. So deep to the point where someone's entire career could have been ruined. Okay? Kandi just saying, oh, your boyfriend have tattoos of other women on him and he was just dating, his ex and the date's not adding up. It's not even as dramatic or detrimental to Porsha saying Todd have a name called Marvin and Phaedra told her he's going around and doing A, B, and C all over New York and all of the things that Porsha said and turning around and saying Peter is sleeping with all of the waitress, just being reckless at the mouth with absolutely no evidence. So mixed it with the whole Kandi is jealous stuff. I'm not here for it. I don't want to hear it. It's the show. The show is about drama and Kandi is bringing the drama and let us whatever. But anyway, so that's that. With them, apparently Marlo allegedly took it back. But according to the episode, they made it look like it was Nene who took it back because Kandi felt like Nene and Porsha have rekindled their relationship. They're really tight, and so it had to be Nene. She didn't think Marlo would do it. Nene, so when they met up again, and there was Porsha, Cynthia, Marlo, Nene, Kandi, they were all at the table. Basically, like I said a few months ago, that Cynthia Bailey is opening a wine cellar and all of that, excluding her doing the whole deal with that other company where she had her lunch and Kenya Moore was there. She's also opening a wine cellar and she had the girls come and basically taste the wine. Then based on the way how Cynthia was talking, this just looked like someone being into fashion but not really. It looks like basically a celebrity saying, you know what, how much can I make from that? Just go ahead and slap my face and my name on that and I'm there. Because you're opening a wine cellar, you're talking about wine, but she basically couldn't answer simple questions. They didn't know anything and basically said, I have people for that. And so you can talk to them. It's like, if you're going to sit with your friends, especially on national television, you want to come with your A game to convince them and also convince the public, because that was her moment to advertise. And I mean, it's Cynthia Bailey. You know what I'm saying? So her name on it, people will still show up. She will still do good, but it's just like, yeah, she failed in that department. But they were still there giving a critique. I have never tasted alcohol in my life. So, but there's nothing wrong with drinking as long as you drink responsibly. So I can't tell you what tastes good, what doesn't taste, whatever. But they were like, oh, this is dry. This is not good. This, that, and the third. So then Porsha kept bringing up Dennis. So Kandi went ahead and told her what she said and also said she feel like Nene was the one who went to her. Okay. Then, you know what? I'm going to revisit that part because it's going to lead into part 2. It's going to actually, let me just talk about it. I want you guys to come back for part 2 because this video is already approaching 20 minutes long. So part 2 is going to be Nene versus Porsha. Nene and Porsha are going at it on social media right now, and it's bad, and it's all going to be in part 2 because I'm telling you, social media plays a major role. When the blogs are talking about you, guess what? It's going to make people excited to want to watch the show. So come back for part 2, and I'm going to spill everything that's going on between Nene and Porsha. The door, whether it's open or closed, come back for part 2. But, so Kandi said, what she told Nene and the girls. Porsha said she never said Nene told her. Nene said it wasn't her. But then Porsha got upset. I'm happy. Just let me be happy. Porsha, did you just let Kandi be happy? No. Did you just let Kenya be happy? No, I was. Then you come to Nene and Gregg. This is why I watched the show. And Gregg got some bad news that there are still some positive cancer cells in his system and that he would have to do chemotherapy for that to completely be taken away. Gregg does not want to do chemo because, chemo works, but it's very, very invasive. And I've seen people go from being upbeat, happy to going through chemo and literally start dying within days. But that's the thing. You never know. You got to take your chances and maybe you will come out on the other side. But the medicine makes you so sick. And Gregg feels like, no. Gregg really feels like chemo is going to kill him. And he wants no parts of chemo, okay? So he's trying these different healthy balance and things like that for his diet. So hopefully it works for him. But didn't I say that when he and Nene was going back and forth? Gregg talking about, I think I'm beating cancer and I have to be positive. But then the lady called and the conversation was completely different. She feels like, no, Gregg, you still have cancer, positive cells running around. But that's what I'm saying. When he talked about he's kicking cancer butt, is he being for real when it comes to the medical situation? Or is he just being a man of God, I am a woman of God, and saying, you know what? My God got this. I'm good. I'm speaking positive. I'm speaking it into existence. It's good to be positive and speak things into existence, but then also be real and be like, you know what? This is really my situation, but this is how I feel. So only time will tell what is really going on with Gregg, but I'm wishing them, the best. And then, Nene had a Porsha moment when she was like, but if you were to test me when I have cancer cells out, and the lady was like, no, no, child, what the hell? Oh, Porsha, Dennis, Porsha mother, people calling Porsha mother a pimp. Oh my God, that's just not cool. But they're saying Porsha mother is probably giving her the highest bidder, and I just thought those were disgusting comments. But they just felt like her mom walking in, meeting Dennis for the first time, and I guess because she walked, they brought her. Okay, when it was Porsha time to meet his mom, they went to dinner at someone else's restaurant, right, and all of that. When it was her time to bring her mother along, she brought her mother into his establishment to make it look like, yes, I'm dating a boss, okay? All this is his. He's the owner of this, all right? And so her mom comes in there and then go as far without even knowing the man, saying, I think you are the one for her. Now, whether off camera, of course, you know how these things work. Off camera, they're probably mad, and she just had to come on camera and play it off. You know how reality TV goes. But because of the way how she was just so okay and just welcoming and going as far as saying you're the one for my daughter just based off her reactions without even knowing the guy, people were like, yeah, money, money. Cardi B verse. But that was that, and they had a great time. So I'm gonna go ahead and end here my final loves. I'm wishing everyone the best, praying for Gregg, wishing him the best. Go ahead and watch the last 2 videos that I did on Nene Lee's going in on him and learn more about his situation. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, my final loves. I'm wishing you all an amazing day. If you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and leave this video a thumbs up. Also turn notifications so when I do post it, where that I post it. And I will see you all in the comment section. Remember to always have the God bless attitude, which is being positive at all times and seeing a good in every situation. Have a great day, guys. God bless.